Hi there, this is Bradley Knight speaking on behalf of Law and Us and my business partner Darren Miles. Darren, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi guys. My name's Darren Miles, and I'm a business partner in Law and Us, which was set up recently through Bradley and I amalgamating my business services and his expertise within the law system.
Darren, people listening to this will probably know a little bit about me. So let's explain a bit about more your background in terms of business, and let's go on to how you ended up going into business with me.
Okay, well that's quite simple, Bradley, in the respect of I'm a council estate boy. I was brought up in a council estate all my life. I started off my career basically doing projects of my own. I've very seldom worked for anybody. I left school when I was 13 and started working on the roads because I had to, because my stepfather wasn't very well and I was the only breadwinner. I then moved on to doing burger vans and doing mobile bars. I had my first pub at the age of 21. Didn't realise that you had to pay the bills and the overheads, so that was a short-lived experience, but a short, sharp learning curve. I then went on to do all sorts of stuff all across the world to do with security, and then basically moved into the nightclub, hotel, pub and bar industry. And that's where I sit at the moment in regards to my background. With regards to Law and Us and with regard to Bradley Knight, I basically had the unfortunate circumstance of being split from my ex-partner after 4.5 years of actually being really good friends. We come to a hurdle which was caused by her meeting another guy, which I had no problem with. I wished her well and said I hope that it works. You know, we have 4 beautiful children together, which I thank her for. And we hit a hurdle in the respect of she was finding it hard to integrate me into her life with her partner. And so basically she alienated me from her life by taking me to court over false allegations, which then extended into my children's lives. And I then had the horrible and torrid experience of basically being parentally alienated from my children, and I therefore had to take my ex-partner, the maternal mother of my children, to court, which again wasn't a nice experience because I have no problem with her. I think she's a great mother, but she'd flipped, for want of a better phrase, and so I had to go through the court process. I basically used a law firm which let me down considerably, which is a local Hertfordshire based firm which I shall leave unmentioned at the moment. I then moved on to a Mayfair firm who basically become highly recommended at a price, and they said to me that they would do a fast, speedy execution of getting me access back to my children. After having a meeting with them, I basically had a run-in with, coincidentally, with Bradley Knight, who had helped a friend of mine get an injunction against a guy who, not a very savoury fellow. The police hadn't been able to do anything to protect my friend from this other guy because this guy was under the Mental Health Act, and so Bradley, unbeknownst to me at this time, had got an injunction very quickly, overnight in fact, stopping this guy from approaching my friend and his family. So on speaking to my friend, purely on a day after I had a frustrated day in court and was talking to Gary, he mentioned to me, oh, you should talk to this chap Bradley. I phoned Bradley, invited me very kindly round to his home. I went round, met him and his lovely family, and basically I explained my case. He asked me when I was next seeing my lawyer, and I stated that it was on a Tuesday, and I believe this was on the Saturday or Sunday that I went to his house. So he asked and said, could he join me on my next meeting with my lawyer? And I said, yeah, of course. And I said, well, what's your proposal? He said, I'm not really sure. He said, I need to think about it. Strategy. And basically he said, I'll let you know Monday. Anyway, so I picked Bradley up. We went down to London. I spoke to him on a Monday. He said, I think I've got an angle. I've read your case file. And we went to the solicitors in Mayfair, and we sat and Bradley read some further notes that the solicitors had made, and Bradley asked them how long, that they thought it would take them to get the case resolved, etc., etc. I had been told previously that it would take 8 to 10 to 12 weeks, and I basically was retold this, that it was 8 to 12 weeks in regards to getting access back to my children, which for me wasn't an option, because basically the long and the short of it is that I had had a 4.5 year relationship with my children after the splitting from their mother, where I'd seen them every single weekend and during the week. Now, what had happened is that basically I had been stopped for probably five weeks, 6 weeks, and it was, I was emotionally upset and distraught by this. The lawyer said 8 to 12 weeks, and Bradley then boastfully announced that he would get it into court within a week, to which the lawyer laughed and said, good luck with that, Bradley. We then left the offices, and Bradley said, look, I've got a plan, and we basically went to the High Court judges who have no jurisdiction in regards to their rulings. They said that they could see the case was feasible, etc., etc., on an emergency access, directed us to Bedfordshire Court, where we went and done an ex parte on foot application, and we got a listing that day for 6 days later. And 6 days later, I went to court, and I got access back with my children. And the judge said on that day to my ex-partner, who had made all sorts of accusations that I wasn't a very good father, and that basically I was actually a danger to my children, which was nonsense. I hold a good ranking in society and had brilliant references from good people like Mike Penning and police officers and high-ranking police officers, and also head teachers, social workers, etc. I'd also been the holder of being a qualified firearms instructor and also a firearms dealer. So I had a status in society which basically represented that what's called a fit and proper person. So on that basis, it went to court, and at 2:30 on Wednesday, the 3rd of August, the judge said, "I'm giving you access back to your children," and he said to the mother, "You will bring the children to Mr. Miles today at 6 o'clock." Which of course was a shock to her, because she was, or thought she was, in control of the situation, and basically the judge had reputed her accusations in the respect of that I was a danger to my children. He had reinforced the fact of the statements and references that I'd had, and he basically said that all I see here is a loving father who has children who love him and they want to see each other, and somebody is basically standing in the way. So on the back of this, I got access back to my children. That was the first case. We had the final hearing in September, and the case was finalised. Bradley assisted me with all of the paperwork to run the case, and also to guide me through the protocols, and the end result was that I got 50% parental responsibility, and a court order was put in place which supports my lifestyle now, and I see my children. I have them on a week on week off basis, or it's actually 5 days at the moment, and then a split, and then I haven't. But I see them all the time. So Law and Us, a great firm, got a great support network, got great support team. This was formed on the back of my personal experience. And it was a very emotional time for me, and basically I wanted, I think at first, to repay back probably what I'd felt by helping other people. And so I then went on my own jolly way of somehow accumulating people coming to me within the first year, which I spoke to Bradley, and he helped assist me to assist them, and we got people back, or I got people back with their children with Bradley's help, and since then we've got lots more people back. Although Bradley's obviously been doing this, for over a decade. So Law and Us was formed on the back and the basis of that I believe in the services it offers. I believe in its identity. I believe in the passion that it gives to clients that solicitors don't, all the way through my experiences, and I'm talking tens and tens and tens of thousands of pounds that I spent trying to get access back to my children. Law and Us, as it is now, done for me in a week what solicitors couldn't do for me in 2 months, and at a fraction of the cost. And so on the basis of that, I asked Bradley to go into business with me, and I'm very pleased to say that we're now business partners. And I'm learning the ropes. I feel like I'm back at school again, being told off and redirected and given homework. But it's been a good year. It's been a very learning, life-changing thing for me, in the respect of just seeing how vulnerable people are in their family situations, and also how vulnerable children are in respect of being used as tools, being used as weapons, which it was one thing that was always promised to me in my relationship that wouldn't happen, but unfortunately it did. And so there's a lot of passion involved, and I think everybody that is involved in Law and Us in one way or another in one or each of our services has personal experiences of these actual categories, and so therefore they're able to deliver not just with a service and in financial reimbursement, because Law and Us charges a quarter of what a lawyer charges or a solicitor. But let me give you, for example, let me give you a very good instance. Okay, the lawyer that I used at the time when he was dealing with my personal access case was not married, had no children, and therefore, and this was an afterthought, I didn't even think about this at the time, so he had no empathy for my case. How could he? I don't mean that as he's a very nice guy, as a character. I think he was fantastic, but how could he have empathy for me in the fact that he had no children? Because if he had no children, then he doesn't know what a child falling over with a scraped knee is. You don't know that actually hurts you. Seeing your child come back with a bloody nose, he doesn't realise that hurts you as much as it hurts a child. And so how could he experience or even deliver a service as passionately as a company like ours when, for argument's sake, he doesn't have children? Because he doesn't know what it's like for somebody to say, you're not going to see your children for 3 months. When you've been a good dad or a good mum. And so therefore there was a massive learning curve for me, and I think that with respect to that, everybody that is on board it's like one big family here, but we care. You're not a number, you're not a pound sign, you're a client, and basically we're here to deliver to you.
Finally, let's close. What's your future plans for Law and Us?
Law and Us, I think we'll go from strength to strength. It's not necessarily about making Law and Us a huge entity or empire in the respect of like a money-making machine. It's about keeping it at a size where we can always deliver the customer service, the client happiness, and to be able to deliver what we believe in, which is like ethically assisting people to get things that they can't get. One of the things that that just struck me, like within the first 3, 4, 5, 6 months and a year later now, I'm still learning there's so many people out there that can't afford legal services, and so on that basis alone they don't get to see their children, and they call solicitors, they get a 30-minute consultation with the promised, and they get hit with a big price and a big bill, and it puts them off. And that shouldn't be the way of the world. People should be able to see their children. Everybody has a right to be a parent. Obviously, there's extremes to the cases where in some cases parents shouldn't be able to see the children, but that's for the judges and the courts to sort out. In regards to Law and Us will continue to grow, taking on more legal representatives, building a bright future for people who are less fortunate, whilst also assisting people that are in need, because there's so many people out there, and it's quite clear that the way that the law is structured, that in some cases it makes it almost an impossibility for them to even get advice on how to move forward. I mean, since 2013, when the legal aid legislation came in and the government slashed legal aid, family law firms have fallen in numbers. People, have been made redundant, which means that less law firms are doing family law, and so there is a shortage of people, and therefore they can then charge an extreme amount of money, because the law firms that are left basically are fluxed with work, and so therefore they can charge what they want, but also they don't do the job as thoroughly because they've got so many cases on. So it's a catch-22 situation. Whereas we invite you to come to us with your case, with help where you can put in to help you save money, to assist us, to assist you. And so therefore the future for Law and Order is quite bright.
What's the website address?
The website is mymackenziefriend.co.uk.
Thank you, Darren.
You're welcome.